Hey guys, Steve here from 11ish, and today I'm super excited to talk about a needle in a haystack. I think I found an investment opportunity that might pay off pretty well in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But of course, I always look at it from a perspective of whether it's a good investment for 3 to 6 months. I think it might even be a good investment for a 2 year opportunity, actually. Without further ado, let's get started. Oh, hit the like button and then let's get started. It's definitely no surprise to anybody in the finance game that China powers the world's economy, right? The way I look at it is that China provides most of the supply, the manufacturing, the rest of the world provides the demand, the consumption. You have to have one side to make the other side work, chicken and egg kind of thing, right? That being said, China is definitely stepping up and trying to do a lot more other things like SaaS, gaming, cloud storage, all of those things that are not traditionally known for China. In this day and age, that means there's a great investment opportunity here. Of course, the opportunity was available about 5, 6 years ago, whenever these companies started going public. But ultimately, what I'm saying is that there are 5 main companies in China that controls pretty much everything, and we're going to talk about one of them. The one that I'm interested in is Tencent. Tencent is effectively one of the 5 monopolies in China. They control things like payment, chats, gaming, cloud storage. Those things are up and coming in the Chinese market, and they're trying to go into the US market at the same time. The obvious thing is that you have billions of people in China, which means that things like chatting, gaming, and cloud storage, the way that they can get consumed, the scale is immense if you can make it work in China, right? And we also know that it's problematic for American companies to enter the Chinese market because of cultural differences and also because of governmental regulations, right? The Chinese government is literally in favor of Chinese companies. So that's why a lot of the American companies are either partnering with Chinese companies or just staying away. The reason why I'm talking about Tencent today is that I had a eureka moment and realized that the pitch that I gave for why Microsoft is a great investment, Tencent is effectively that same thing. If I go down the list, cloud storage is a big deal right now. They have 80% year-over-year growth, and Amazon did I think 35 billion in 2019. They're only doing a fraction of it. There's a huge growth potential, like a startup like growth potential for an established company. If we're talking about gaming, Call of Duty, one of the most famous games in the world, they actually partner with Activision Blizzard and build a mobile app, and there's a profit sharing model for that game, right? Tencent actually develops tons of top games all around the world. And the last critical piece that a lot of people aren't even aware of is that they have this app called WeChat, and it's used all around the world except most of the United States don't really use it. The power of WeChat is twofold. One is that it has crazy adoption in APAC. That's a shit ton of users, right? Engaged, active users. And the second point is that it has WeChat Pay built in. China just lifted their lockdown, which means that people will be looking to spend money. And this is one of those ways that they'll be spending money. And I project a huge gain here. It has more users than the next closest candidate, which is Alipay, I think. Twice as many users. And the WeChat Pay is effectively accepted all over APAC. It's equivalent to PayPal or Venmo, except WeChat Pay and Alipay for that matter is more accepted in APAC and basic commerce like restaurants and online businesses and physical moms and pop shops and all of those things. It's more accepted in those circumstances than anything you can ever imagine. So again, the growth potential and the adoption is just immensely impressive. In terms of gaming and cloud storage, they're taking a book out of what United States has and is actually applying it in their economy and their business, and is having immense growth. They're building the right relationships, and they're effectively in startup mode, and that's excellent. They have the money to grow faster on a startup, but they're moving in a very agile way where the growth and the money that's going to come with it is going to be explosive. It's going to be crazy if they do it right. So those are the pros that I'm considering when I think about whether I should invest in Tencent or not. The con is that it's a Chinese company. We might understand cloud storage, we might understand fintech, and we might understand gaming very well. But under the Chinese government, it's a little questionable in terms of how much role the government is going to give in terms of, a chat app, how much free speech is allowed, in terms of gaming, what kind of games are allowed, in terms of cloud storage, what kind of data is being allowed to store. But ultimately, China has worked like this forever. And so to me, I don't think it's a particularly big downside. And the fact is, most outside companies have a very, very difficult time entering the Chinese market because of the government regulations or government control, and also because of the cultural differences. For those reasons, I think the con is weak, but it is there. If you're uncomfortable with it, if you think, or if you have a moral issue with it, then please don't invest. Right. The second thing is that just like the rest of the world, the Chinese economy is also shrinking. The government itself, like Chinese people, are known to save money. We save a ton of money, and the government is known to stimulate the economy by injecting more money into big companies like this in situations like this. And so the challenge here is that the economy is a black box, the government regulations is a black box, and so it's a little bit scary for us outside investors to look at it. Now the counterpoint to that though is Chinese people are known to take care of their own. We're patriots, right? Just like any other country, and so I think it would be very, very difficult for the Chinese government to let one of the biggest companies in China to fail. Just like, when we had a banking crisis, the US government covered the bank's asses, right? It's kind of the same concept as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, the third thing is that the Chinese investors in general, they're very much pack driven. And so if something negative does happen, then the swings can be huge. So that to me means that this investment, worst case scenario, becomes a long-term investment. And that's the type of company that I look for, right? Worst case scenario, I'll hold on to the stock. Best case scenario, I make money quicker and then move my money somewhere else and make some more money. So in that sense, I think Tencent is a very, very good investment. But please take into consideration that, there is amount of risk involved. I'm personally investing it in a way where, if that portion of money I put into the stock gets locked in, I'm okay with it, right? I'll still have the right amount of liquidity for my other investments. All right, guys, I hope you found this content useful. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment. And if you're looking for more content like this, please hit the subscribe button. I look forward to working with you in the future, and thank you for your time. Thank you.